I cannot believe I am saying this, but 2025 is officially looking at the halfway point in the rearview mirror, and I wanted to take this time to have a look back at all the brand new shiny games that I've played so far and let you know which have been my favourites as we talk about my top 5 games of the year so far. So take this time to charge your glass and let's get into it. So guys, before we dive into the list, I wanted to set some ground rules so we all know how this list was created. The first of which, I guess the most important, and that is the game must have been released in 2025. So no up and coming games, no crowdfunding deliveries that aren't even at retail yet. The game must be available or have been available for purchase. Number 2, amazing I have to say this, but it is the internet and I'll be burned at the stake if I don't clarify this. I must have played this game at least 3 times. So I'm really sorry for you heavy gaming fans out there, but Galactic Cruise will not be appearing on this list. And finally, as we cater for all sorts of wonderful games here on our channel, I have done my very best to ensure we have a nice variety of games and types. So, with that being said, let's get to our number 5. Coming in at number 5 is undoubtedly humanity's crowning achievement as we are creating and attempting to sustain cities on the moon. It's Moon Colony Bloodbath. Moon Colony Bloodbath is an engine building and occasionally losing tableau game, with a shared deck that players build to make things happen. Many of those things are bad things that kill people in your colony, but some of them are pretty positive, and some of them let you build up your personal tableau, and therefore your city on the moon. Actions in this game may only be taken by players when specific work action cards are revealed, having an effect on players where they have an ever-increasing feeling of dread, not knowing if the next card to be drawn is a work card or maybe an event card that sees half of your population succumb to an evil robot intruder. The central deck, to be honest, is a fantastic addition to this game that players can add cards to, meaning the game has a large amount of replay value, with every game almost guaranteed to be different, at least in the form of the cards drawn and played throughout the game. The ending, though, will always be the same, as the game only comes to an end when one player fails to protect their colony well enough and they all perish. Or the event deck runs out, but that's no fun. Either way though, at that point, the player with the most survivors wins the game. Moon Colony for me has just the right mix of fun, anxiety, strategy and game mechanisms that it's shot to being one of my favourite games to play at a higher player count. And it also feeds into my desires of utter carnage and devastation. At number 4 we have my selection that caters well for playing with both the seasoned veteran player and with the upstart newbie, and it claimed my title for number 1 hidden gem at the UK Games Expo back at the start of June. It's Ink. Ink is a clever little tile placement game that sees you collecting tiles from a circular rondel market and then using those selected tiles to expand your own personal set of tiles that are, in theme at least, designed to replicate the process of creating an artistic masterpiece. The game side of things comes from the coloured parts of the tiles, where you create connected areas that also contain a series of, blank and numbered dots. Once your coloured area reaches a value of one of the numbered spots, you get to place your little ink pots, which are awesome on their own, by the way, and you get to place them on those, and that therefore depletes your personal supply. The added bonus for completing the larger numbers means that players get to also receive a reward that varies from game to game. The first player that places their last ink pot will trigger the end of the game, and in most cases will win, but not always, as other players have the chance to catch up and potentially place more pots down using the extra black ink pots, at which point the player with the most black ink pots on their board will be declared the winner. To be honest with you, Ink has quickly become one of my go-to games for introducing new players into the hobby, with the stylings and in some way some play styles akin to that of Azul. Ink just brings a fresh new look and alternative option to the table when it comes to a lightweight abstract strategy game, and therefore gets a big tick from me. In at my number 3, while making this list for its gameplay, it has also made this list for its unwavering delivery of its theme. It's Fate of the Fellowship. The Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship, to give it its full name, was one of the hottest games at the UK Games Expo this year, seeing players ignoring instructions of the staff and literally sprinting to the stands just to try and get a copy of the game. For those lucky enough to have snagged a copy, the results seem to be that of approval, as this game takes the fundamentals of the pandemic games and re-implements them into a lovely thematic Middle Earth. Gone are the deadly diseases spreading like wildfire, and in their place we have these wonderfully modelled Nazguls chasing down the Fellowship as they attempt to return the One Ring to the fiery pits of Mordor, whilst of course fighting their way through the armies of Sauron. To be honest with you, this game only just made this list because I got my third play in just very recently, and on completion of that game, it really cemented my opinions of the game in the form of it's really captured that essence of the Lord of the Rings book series as well as the movie adaptations. It's fair to say though, I don't think we've seen the last from designer Matt Leacock, Lord of the Rings or Z-Man Games when it comes to this game series, and I'm okay with that. Give me more! In at number 2 we have, ironically so, the only dedicated 2-player game to make this list. It's another UKGE release following a wonderfully structured marketing campaign. I mean, I pre-ordered it. It's Timber Town. Timber Town, whilst only being a 2-player game, packs a big punch for its game time as players draft city tiles from a flowing river to build mini cities for your beaver population, and scoring points dependent on the types of buildings and, more importantly, building locations. Easy, right? Well, not necessarily, as the tricky part is the tile you take from the river has to correspond to the column where you place that tile within your city. Of course, there are things in the game that let you somewhat manipulate that, but at its core, Timber Town is a truly thinky, yet simple concept of a game, with a theme that is nice and laid back. While two-player games are not usually in my personal wheelhouse, they are becoming more important and used within my collection, and Timber Town has been requested a fair bit recently, following previous plays by players that rather enjoyed it and determined masters of the art of gaming insistent that they will create the perfect townscape for their awesome beaver population. And here we are at the number 1, my favourite game that I've played so far in 2025. A game that has been delivered to backers of the crowdfunding campaign and seen a retail release in recent months. It's Critter Kitchen. Critter Kitchen takes two of my most favourite things in the world, food and board games, and mashes them together in an elegant yet cutthroat medley of perfection as players are budding restaurateurs, and as you send your chefs off into the wide blue yonder into the city to gather the best top quality ingredients in which you aim to create amazing meals and demonstrate that your restaurant is the best in town. The game is played over just 7 rounds, and in that time players must create and serve the best possible meals to your undoubtedly growing customer base before the fateful 7th round, when the town's most prestigious and, let's be honest, egotistical food critic will attend your restaurant and try to figure out if you stink like last week's fish dish or if you are indeed the toad in his hole. I didn't mean it like that. Get your mind out the gutter. Critter Kitchen embodies everything I have come to love from cardboard alchemy since I first played Flamecraft, and to see the wonderful art style return in this form is another big win for me. The game has a decent level of thoughtfulness while still being light enough that it can be used in the most basic form to play with younger members of the family. And there you have it, guys. We raise a toast to my top 5 games that I've played in the year of 2025 so far. There are many games that are yet to be released, some of which I am incredibly excited about. But what do you think? Is there anything coming out that will change this list at the end of the year? Let me know in the comments section below. And of course, I also want to know, what games have you been playing so far and which have been your favourites? Stick them all down in that comment section below. If you have enjoyed this video, then please do give us a helping hand by giving the video a quick thumbs up, maybe even a sneaky subscribe for more tabletop gaming content. And of course, though legends amongst you, if you could, please do share this video with all of those that you think might get a kick out of this video. But until next time, I have been Jason, you have been watching The Meeple Minded, and as always, I will see you on the next one.